fall and winter, the planet Earth is letting out the life force. It is exhaling. This is when you see that all vegetation and fruit and plant life as a whole, the respiratory system of the Earth, is going away. Not just due to winter snow, but you can see that the leaves start to fall off the trees. Fruit is no longer growing for a certain amount of time. Certain animals go into hibernation. Even human life is not spent outside as much as it is spent inside due to certain weathers during this time. So now we can establish that from spring and summer, 90 and 90, 180 days. Each of these seasons when added together equal 180 days. So we know that the Earth inhales for 180 days, aka spring and summer, and it exhales for 100 days, aka fall and winter. So now we've established that the Earth has a soul, a skeletal system, a circulatory system, a respiratory system, a nervous system, chakras, and that it breathes on the accounts of that it inhales and that it exhales. Let me write that down here. So the Earth breathes. So now that we just established that the Earth is alive and that it is feminine in nature because it gives birth, not the fact that it is symbolically pregnant with a miniature sun, being that the Earth's core is 6,000 degrees Celsius and the sun's surface is 6,000 degrees Celsius, and that the Earth has a miniature sun within its womb, but the Earth gives birth to everything. Now, when we say the Earth gives birth to everything, we even mean these physical shells, these physical bodies that we project our souls into, were manifested by the Earth. We understand that every chemical element that can be found in planet Earth, which is natural, can be found within a black melanated being. So now, why is this important? Everything returns back to the source from which it came. So when you do is what we call pass away, or this body can no longer hold your energy, you exceed the time that you're allowed to exist within this vessel. This vessel does what? It returns back to the planet Earth. So now, why is that important? Because the universe is the mother of your individual soul. But the planet Earth is the mother of your individual body, which contains that soul. So why is this important? Because we understand that the Earth is alive, and it has feelings, and it is intelligent, and it operates at its own individual capacity to help aid us in our individual existence. So, establishing this, we can understand that humans today on this planet Earth are what? Ungrateful. Why are humans today ungrateful? Because when you rent a car, because we understand these bodies are just temporary, you are going to be giving this body back to the planet that you got it from, and you are going to be returning to the source upon what we call death, which we know there is no death, we are immortal, but just using that word to establish an understanding of what we mean by exiting this vehicle. Upon death, you will be giving this body back. And it's just like renting a car. You don't want to take the car back that you rented all beat up and in an accident and destroy like you got it. But think about our bodies. We send these bodies back to the planet Earth, all kinds of destroyed. Drugs in them, bullet holes in them, scars and war wounds in them. We give these bodies back to the planet in a condition which is not the condition that we received it in. When we came out our physical earthly mother's womb, we were perfect. There was nothing wrong with us. When we give these bodies back to our planetary mother, these bodies are destroyed, battered, and we have not taken care of them. Why? Because we become ungrateful for something because we don't understand that we're just borrowing it. See, we have become lost to think that we are these bodies, and so our level of existence is strictly on the physical realm. But once we activate the pineal gland and we understand and transcend this physical realm, we understand that we are not these bodies. And by understanding that understanding that we are not these bodies and that we borrowed these bodies from our planetary mother, we understand that we need to give these bodies back in the same condition that these bodies were given to us. If not, then at least as close to it as possible. So not only do we damage our bodies because we're ungrateful of the gift that was given to us by our planetary mother, but we disrespect our planetary mother by doing what? Littering, poisoning, etc. Many of us are ignorant as hell, and we're unconscious, and we walk up the street and we throw garbage right on the ground. Not a care in the world. Litter, poison the earth, Caucasian, rapes. The Caucasian not only rapes the black woman in this physical shell, he rapes the black woman in her planetary self, extracting oil, raping it for its natural resources, raping the motherland, Africa. He rapes the feminine energy on a physical human existence as well as a planetary existence is being raped literally by the Caucasian due to his greed for something that is naturally not his. So we have become ungrateful to our planet for its unconditional provisions towards us despite the ignorance we have displayed on it. Why? Because we no longer protect it from the Caucasian. We no longer nurture it. We litter. And not only do we litter, we allow our planet to become poisoned without a care in the world and add to its poisoning. So we have become ungrateful, not only for our physical mothers, who is God, because the black woman is God, but our planetary mother who gave birth to these vehicles in order for us to exist on her temporarily. So we have become out of tune with that 8.7 frequency of the planet Earth. Why? Because we have become out of tune with ourselves. So we don't understand our spirit mother, which is the creator, our physical humanoid mother, which is the black woman, which is the physical creator of these bodies, bodies as they come out the womb. And then we don't understand our planetary mother, which is the physical creator of the first black woman, which allows us to recycle these humanoid bodies. So by not understanding the spiritual chain of command, we have become out of tune with the planet Earth, and in return, as a consequence, we have become ungrateful. And we don't understand that the Earth has its own intelligence, and it also has emotions. This is where tsunamis and earthquakes and tornadoes and things like that come from. Nothing is by coincidence. Everything is intelligently calculated by Mother Nature. So with that being said, each time we litter, each time we poison, each time we pillage, each time we allow the Caucasian to rape and rob the planet of its resources, we are dealing direct mental and emotional blows to our planet, which our planet understands that we are ignorant of. So we are living on a planet that is actually alive, living and breathing, and we are offering it no aid, but yet it still provides for us on a daily basis. Now, we need to clean that up, family. Period. Now, let me put breath back here. I accidentally erased it. Now, family, I'm going to touch on the moon. The moon, family. The moon is symbolic to the Earth's grandmother. So, the sun is symbolic to the black man. The Earth is symbolic to the black woman. And the moon is symbolic to the grandmother of the black woman. Or the black woman's mother. Why? Because let me redraw this moon a little smaller, family, because I'm going to need some room. Matter of fact, I'm going to just draw it over here. The moon. Okay. So we got the moon, grandmother. We got the earth, daughter. So we got mother and daughter. 5-point star is symbolic to the black woman. Why? Because there are 5 cycles in the black woman's life. First cycle, birth. Second cycle, menstrual. Third cycle, motherhood. Fourth cycle, menopause. Fifth cycle, death. These are the guaranteed 5 cycles that every black woman goes through upon being in existence on this planet. Birth, menstrual cycle, motherhood, menopause, death. Birth, she's born, her soul takes on a physical body. Second cycle, second point of this star. Menstrual cycle. She gets on her period, she becomes fertilized and able to reproduce. Third cycle, motherhood. Once she finally reproduces, she becomes a mother. She becomes a planet Earth. Fourth cycle, menopause. She's no longer able to become fertile and she becomes a moon. Now she watches, she rotates and watches and is gravitating constantly towards that which she just became the motherhood of. So her previous cycle was she was in motherhood and she's an earth. And on her fourth point, which is menopause, she becomes a moon. The moon is what? Dead. It no longer can create life. Once you hit menopause, of course you're not dead. But when it comes to reproducing, you can no longer reproduce life. So now you hit the 5th point star, which is death. So the 5-point star is actually symbolic to the female and feminine energy. Now, since I gave y'all the 5-point star, I'm going to give you the 6-point star as well. By drawing 2 triangles within each other, you draw a 6-point star. Now, this might not be the neatest. Matter of fact, let me redo that. So I'm going to need some room to write. Boom. Okay. 6-point star, family. This is symbolic to the man. The top point is ascension of soul. Ascension of your soul. The top point star is ascension of soul, family. The next point is earth. The third point on the 6-point star is water. The bottom point is the penis. But instead of writing penis, we're going to call it descension of matter. The fifth point on this star is air. And the 6th point is fire. So on the 6-point star, which is symbolic to the man, we have ascension of soul, which is your soul leaving or exiting the vehicle through the crown chakra, aka astral projection. Then you have the 4 elements which make up the human body, which is earth, water, air, and fire. And then you have your penis, descension of matter, which is sperm. Now, what does ascension of soul and descension of matter have to do with earth, air, wind, earth, air, water, and fire? Because when your soul ascends the physical realm, it transmutes the laws of earth, air, wind, and water. But when you are in your physical body and you give birth to a child, aka descension of matter, earth, air, wind, earth, fire, air, and water are directly responsible for the matter that is descending from the penis or phallus of a man. Why? Because we understand what? Family. Earth is carbon. Air is oxygen. Fire is nitrogen. And water is hydrogen. Earth, air, fire, water. Earth, carbon. Air, oxygen. Fire, nitrogen. Water, hydrogen. What does carbon, oxygen, nitrogen, and hydrogen have to do with dissension of matter or sperm? I'll tell you right now. Earth, air, water, fire, aka earth, carbon, air, oxygen, fire, nitrogen, and water, hydrogen. What do those have to do with? DNA. DNA is made up of hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and carbon. Those 4 elements comprise your DNA. And if you're black or you're melanated, then you have a coat of melanin around your DNA, which actually protects it and acts like a lubricated shield and absorbs the frequencies of the sun. Now, without going too off track, we know that we understand that we get our DNA, our mitochondrial DNA, from our mother. But the dissension of matter, once the sperm of the man, that dissension of matter, hits the egg of the black woman, it reminds the black woman to fertilize herself. And this is when carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, and oxygen, DNA, from the parents, manifest a child on this planet. So the 6-point star is symbolic to the black man and his role in aiding the black woman, which is the 5-point star, in the physical manifestation of these vehicles. Now, before I end this, I want to touch on the flat earth theory. First and foremost, y'all, common sense will tell you that the earth ain't flat. I don't give a hell what them crackers tell you. I don't care how long them crackers came out them caves and thought the earth was flat. How is the earth not flat? Because, as I stated in my video Solar Existence, we live in a 3rd dimension, which has a certain density level. Everything in the 3rd dimension is, guess what, y'all? 3D. Which means in order to exist in the 3rd dimension, which we exist on now, you have to be 3D. So if the earth was flat, it would be a flat circle or an oval. But since it's 3-dimensional and everything here is under the law of 3D, the earth is a sphere by universal physics, universal law, and default. So now why is this important as well? Is because not only is the earth 3-dimensional due to the density level that we live on, but if the earth was flat, there would be no torus energy which can be emitted from the core of the earth, or there would be no torus energy emitted from the core chakra of the human being. The earth cannot be flat, because if the earth was flat, energy would not be able to circulate, move in a circular motion. The earth cannot be flat due to us living on this density level, because everything on this density level is 3-dimensional. Now, if we were to go down 8 more density levels, we would be at the 2nd dimension, we would be 2-dimensional. And then if we went down 8 more, we would be at the 1st dimension, which would be flat. So if the earth was flat, that means we would have to drop 16 density levels. So it's impossible for the earth to be flat at the level of existence that we are at, because we exist in the 3rd dimension. And with that being said, family, this video was on planetary existence. I hope you enjoyed it. Understand that the earth is alive, it is breathing, and it loves us, and we must do all that we can to restore it back to its healthiest state, as well as our race. Peace.